everyone, welcome to another video. Today is going to be a chat style video about a topic I am super passionate about and love to talk about, and that is the law of attraction. I asked you guys if you had any questions, and you did over here on YouTube and on my Instagram. So thank you to everyone who wrote to me with their thoughtful questions. I really appreciate it. So today I'm going to talk to you about my experience using the law of attraction and just learning about how to basically consciously manifest the reality that you want as your life. I just want to make it clear that I'm no expert and I certainly don't have all of the answers, but my hope for today is that you can get something from my own experiences that you could potentially apply in your own life, or basically just take it or leave it. If you're really new to the law of attraction, this might be a bit of seem a bit of an odd topic, but I really encourage you to continue learning about it and stay open to the possibility of its truth, because it is incredibly powerful. And I personally have experienced so much from learning and going down this journey with the law of attraction. It has completely transformed my life, and it was really just after I gave birth to Ayana that I got very interested in the law of attraction, as I wanted to make changes in our life. I wanted so much for our family, and it just seemed so overwhelming, and I had no idea how I was going to do it. And the more I learned, the more really that directed me to learning about myself more, exploring my own mind and its potential. So I'm going to talk about that a lot today, and yeah. So let's just get into it. I'll give you a bit of a debrief, and then I'll sort of shape this video around your questions and just give you as much information as I can. So basically, my understanding of the law of attraction is it is the belief that at every single moment, with every single thought, you are creating your reality by attracting the essence of what you think about into your life. So an example that I have spoken about on this channel is this YouTube channel. I just love this example because you're here with me on YouTube. And before I ever made a video, started this channel, I really directed my mind on what I was going to create here, who I was going to connect with, what my message would be, how it would make me feel. And I had no idea how I was going to go about doing that, really. And it was a huge goal. I had never made a video. I'd never really used YouTube. And what I did was each morning I allowed myself to just focus my thoughts on achieving it and having it and obtaining it, how it'd make me feel and what I was going to create, instead of focusing on what I didn't currently want in my life. So basically, if you want to make any changes in your life, you have to take your attention off what you don't like about your life right now. All of the things that you don't like, you have to shift your attention off them and start directing your thought to what it is you truly want in life. So when the thoughts that you're having support and are in alignment with your dreams, this is when you're actively manifesting the reality that you want. That is when you're creating the life that you want. And when you're having negative thoughts, that you've got these emotions that don't feel good, they make you feel bad, there's always going to be underlying thought there, and that thought is not supporting what it is you want in life. So this is the thing, when you're feeling really down, when you've got lots of negative emotion going on, you're in a perfect position in this moment to bring some awareness to your thoughts and to really observe the quality of your thoughts, and to be like, basically, this is what I do. I just say, this isn't how I want to feel. I don't want to move through today like this. What do I want to feel? How do I want today to be? And then I start directing my thought towards how I want to feel. Like, I want to feel happy, and I want to be present with Chris and Aya, and I want them to feel my love, and I want to also be productive, and I want to get outside because it makes me feel really light and free and grateful. So I start directing my mind towards how it is I want to feel, and very, very quickly my mood just will begin to shift. And really powerful thing, I think, is to just wake up and first thing every day, I try to do this, is just say to Chris and Anna, like, today is going to be such a great day. Today is going to be amazing. And I think that's a great way to set the tone for your day. So if this is all like stuff you haven't sort of gone into too much yourself, you might just have a lot of questions right now. So I wanted to sort of go through a few key sort of points that I have, you know, gone through myself and questions that I had. So basically I've spoken a bit about negative and positive emotions, and our thoughts are responsible for the emotion we feel. So when we observe things or react to things, they're neutrally charged, and we determine how we're going to let them affect us to a degree. So that starts with a thought, we respond, and then our emotions are sort of the result of those thoughts. So basically you can think of your emotions as a really powerful guidance system that allows you to know if you're currently attracting what you want in life or what you don't want in life. So if you're someone who's experiencing a lot of negativity and stuff, it's then not about going, oh crap, I've been so negative, what do? I can't stop thinking negative. The first step is to become aware of it and to realize that the thoughts that you are having aren't necessarily what you want to continue with. And so then it's about gently guiding your thoughts to things that make you feel a little bit better and a little bit better. I just also wanted to touch on something else. This is not about pretending to feel positive when you truly don't. This isn't about pretending that things that you've really struggled with in life haven't happened and that they were positive. It's not like that at all. It's about understanding that the future that you want is possible if you make the commitment and practice aligning your thoughts with what it is that you want in life. So many of us know what we don't want, and as soon as we're sort of asked like, well, what do you want? It can be a really difficult question to answer. So for me, when I started learning about this, that was one of the first steps, getting clear on what it was I actually wanted. And then after you get clear on what you want, this is where it gets really important. I think you need to understand why you want it. And for me, I sort of wrote down my goals, and then I really began exploring why I wanted these goals. So the why is incredibly important for a couple of reasons. For most of my life, and I'm sure some of you can relate, when you've sort of decided you want something, you start to analyze it. Say you want to go on a holiday to Thailand, and you're like, I want to go on a holiday to Thailand this year. Then instantly it can be like, oh, like how am I going to afford that? Like how could we get the time off work? Like how is this going to happen? Like who would look after the dog? Like all of these things that then start making us feel not great, because we feel overwhelmed and we feel like the goal is now not obtainable because there's too many aspects that you have no idea how they're going to be resolved and how it's all going to work out. So what the law of attraction is then becoming aware of your thoughts and realizing you're focusing again on all the things that you do not actually want. You're focusing on all of the problems and all of the hurdles, and it's not making you feel good. So then it's about realigning your thought with this holiday of Thailand and how you are going to feel there, why you wanted it. Maybe your partner, you could just see in your partner that they needed this break and time together to nurture and reconnect and spread your love to each other or with your family, and that is your why, because you know you all want to feel happy and you're at your best when you feel that way. So it's about then going back and just picturing it and visualizing and aligning these thoughts with that. So that's like me trying to sort of use the law of attraction, how I use it in sort of like an example, but I mean it can be different for everyone, and there's a lot of different tools that I have used to help with this practice, and I've spoken about this a lot, especially over on Instagram. I share some of my affirmations, and you can have a look at some of my posts over there, and I'll share some of my favorite affirmations in the comments section. But for me, affirmations have been a way to sort of really let go of deeply held beliefs that I've had. So sometimes we have these limiting beliefs that have been with us for so long, we're sometimes not even aware of them. And basically the law of attraction means that if there's something that you're not experiencing in your life, something that's not currently here but you want it, at some level there is thought or a belief disallowing it from coming into your life, something limiting it into your life. And affirmations have been a way for me to sort of explore some old limiting beliefs and then rewrite the belief that I want to move forward with in life, and then affirm it every single day till it becomes a part of me and one of my beliefs. Affirmations have been an amazing thing for me to do. I used them in the mornings. Basically, you know, this van, I wanted to travel full time with Chris and Aya, and I thought a great way to do that would be able to share with you guys on YouTube, and also with that could be an income and the potential to sort of create content. And I had this dream of writing a book and just helping as many people as I could. So every single morning I would, you know, picture that. I'd give myself time to write out affirmations that supported that goal. I would use a visualization to just daydream and allow myself to just pretend like it was already happening, and it made me feel good. And then I would also sit in silence, and that was an amazing way, and still is an amazing way for me to bring awareness to my thought, to recognize where I'm at, and then to release it and let it go and know that I can actually choose where I want to direct my consciousness, and I am in control, and I'm not just responding to the things around me. I am actually here also a part of it all, creating. So there are some of the things that have really helped me with becoming aware and consciously using the law of attraction. So affirmations, visualization, meditation, and writing. Writing is a huge one. I also obviously write my affirmations, but just what I used to do and still sometimes do is just journal my life as I want it to be. So basically the story that you tell, whatever you're affirming each day, the thoughts that you're thinking, the intentions that you have are creating what you're going to experience in the future. And so what I like to do is when I journal, just write exactly what I want as if it's already here, like pretend like I'm already experiencing it, and then let myself feel everything as I write, because it makes me feel good. And you sort of get the drift here. Like, I don't think there's too much more important in life than making yourself feel good and then knowing that you're going to attract more of that into your life. So having said all of that, I'm just going to go through some of your questions now and answer them as best as I can, and I'll just try to share like from my own experience as much as possible, because I mean that's all I truly know about. I've just got some of them here in my journal. So, how do you believe in something if you haven't yet experienced it in your life? I think this would be an extremely common question, and certainly one I struggled with in the beginning, because yeah, it's new, it's something new in your life or a new idea and you haven't experienced it in your life, so like why would you believe it, sort of thing. It can be difficult to believe. So my advice would be to really just do it for fun, take it lighthearted, don't get too serious about it, just do it because it makes you feel good, and the results of doing it will become very obvious in your life very quickly if you're paying attention. And then with that, your belief grows over time because you can see the results in front of your face. Yeah, I remember just thinking like making goals and almost being like, oh, Jinti. Because it can be really disheartening to think you have these beautiful goals and you have these desires in your heart and you're like, how can I make it's not going to come true, and you don't want to be disappointed. So it's really about focusing on your why and not getting lost in the how and when. So focus on why and surrender the how and when, and make it a practice because it feels good, not because this is something that you definitely have to obtain and you're definite on the way it's going to happen, because that's going to be a tough journey. So this is about doing this practice because you know you're at your best when you feel good and you want to feel good, and your belief will grow as your experiences begin to change. So how do you use the law of attraction to overcome resisting limiting beliefs? That's a really good question, because that's, you know, what we're trying to overcome here, right? Like things that we want in our lives but we're not experiencing, because at the core of our belief systems there's things that are restricting and not supporting our goals. For me, a lot of that has got to do with feelings of unworthiness and not feeling like I don't deserve it. Like oh no, that's okay for them and they can do it, but like I can't do that. So it's basically, you know, that fear of being seen and being vulnerable and actually expressing what we truly want and sharing our desires and even letting ourselves dream about it without worrying about it not happening and about being disappointed. I've spoken a little bit about my struggles with money and coming from really a place of lack, that money's such a struggle. So when I started rewriting these affirmations, what would happen is, like, when I brought awareness to my thoughts, I started to notice that I was having thoughts that didn't support these new affirmations and where I wanted my belief system to go. So, you know, like, I would still find that I was very much stressing about spending money and feeling like I needed to save and, you know, calculating finances and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I want to feel supported and I want to be able to spend money on, you know, quality things that I need in my life and that add value. I want to buy like the best quality foods and I'm beautiful. I want to buy like organic food and stuff, but I had these underlying thoughts like, oh, you can never afford to do that, like, oh no, you need to be saving, like, oh, you're going to be like, what's going to happen if you can't afford this or if that happens. So these limiting beliefs were still making me feel bad. And for me, I think some people could have the power to just completely rewrite their belief system and go from like, okay, I'm obviously coming from a place of lack with money and now I'm ready to like accept and embrace an abundance of money into my life. But for me personally, I've had to sort of explore where these beliefs stem from, a lot of them from my childhood, and exploring them has helped me to understand them, and with that understanding I've been able to let them go and to sort of retell the story of who I want to be from this point forward. But it's certainly a journey, like an emotional one for me at times. A lot of emotional releases have occurred when I've become aware of limiting beliefs. And yeah, it's a really, I think, a very important journey that we can all take to, you know, reassess who we are and who we want to move forward as in life. I think the powerful thing here is that by acknowledging limiting beliefs, acknowledging things that you don't want in life and accepting them really and choosing to let them go instead of suppressing them, it makes you feel good. So it's not like, oh, I'm focusing on more negativity by exploring these limiting beliefs. You've got to look at how it makes you feel. And yes, it might make you feel emotional, but some emotion needs to be felt so that it can be let go of and surrendered to. And if you keep suppressing it, I think it's always still there and it's always still going to impact your thought and action when you're not addressing it and just trying to ignore it. So yeah, with limiting beliefs, I think it's important to look at them and become aware of them so that you can understand them and release them. Okay, the next question is, how do you stay motivated and consistent? I like to think of this as just basically something I truly believe in, like it's the truth. So it's not really as much like an exercise regime for me where I'm like really lack motivation. I'm like, this is my life, this is what I'm going to experience. There's not too much more important than that. But initially, I think having that routine of, you know, putting time aside each day when you were going to become aware of your thought, where you're going to, you know, write out your dreams and focus all of your energy onto picturing what it is you truly wanted, and to just like put it as your time aside to like consciously create your life basically. Another thing that's really helped is just learning more about gratitude and how important it is, and then sort of taking that throughout my day, just at random times, just sort of like stopping and looking around and being like, okay, what are 3 things I'm grateful for right now? Because I think that really helps with the quality of your thought when you can appreciate the little things around you. And then with that, also awareness of the beautiful blessings that you have actually created. So to stay awake and to take notice, because otherwise, you know, you can be actually creating like we all are at all times, but it's just unconsciously and we're not even aware of it. When you try to be as awake as possible during the day, you'll become aware of all of these things that you actually created yourself, and then your belief grows and your commitment to the practice also deepens. What do you do if you have repeating negative thoughts? So like I said earlier, negative thoughts are sort of a great guidance system, and they notify us when we're sort of focusing on something that we don't want to attract in our life, when we're focusing on something that doesn't support our life's desire. So I think you can become really grateful for them sometimes, because you're like, oh, I'm having negative thought about this isn't what I want. What is it that I do want. So you can sort of shift your perspective. In the Abraham Hicks teachings, they call it pivoting from, you know, focusing on what you do not want, pivoting towards what it is you do want. And a great way to do that is to focus on why you want it, because when you focus on why, you're evoking emotion that makes you feel good, why you want something. Explore that idea and you will be pivoting towards the direction that is in alignment with your goals and desires. So negative thoughts are basically a great compass, notifying us when we've gone a little bit off track and we need to realign our thought. And easier said than done. Like, the other night I've struggled to put AA to sleep a little bit lately, and I'm just like, it took me nearly 2 hours the other night, and I just was so frustrated and angry, and she was feeling that, and I went to sleep like that, and in the morning I woke up feeling exactly the same, still in that mindset, and I'm like, everything was negative. Chris like looked at me and I was like, ugh. And I was just in this place, and I remember getting out of bed and Ayana was still asleep, and I was actually in the most beautiful forest, and I just said, like, Jinti, no, you're not going to go through today like this. Like, I don't want to be like this. And then I said to Chris, like, I am so struggling with these sleeps. Like, it's not like I was pretending, no, it was actually fine. Like, no, this was like tough for me and I needed to make some changes. So we sat down and I said to Chris, like, I think we need to talk about what we need for Ayana. Like, I'm creating my reality. If I'm going to accept that in parts of my life, I need to also accept that in the more difficult parts, the parts that I'm struggling with. And I was like, I'm creating this. What do I want? Like, I want Ayana to peacefully be able to go to sleep, because it's such a much nicer way to go to sleep than with, you know, an angry, frustrated mum beside her. I want her to feel like she's supported and loved and we're there for her, but she doesn't need to like attach herself to us. I wanted her to feel like she was, you know, loved and supported and nurtured, and she woke up feeling happy. And I wanted to be able to spend time with Chris at night, because, you know, we could reconnect and chat and just have a laugh and have a stretch, and that made us feel good and nurtured our relationship. So we started talking about all of the things that we wanted, and, you know, since that was like 3 days ago, the past 2 nights we've had so much better nights with Ayana, and still not perfect, but I'm just really trying to redirect my thoughts towards what I want, instead of, you know, focusing on how hard it is to get her to sleep sometimes, like how draining it is, how, like, all of those things that I think a lot of parents can probably identify with at times. All right, next question. Oh, I think this is a really good one. Staying positive in a negative environment, such as like around family or workplace. Once again, something that I think is hard sometimes, for sure. Different places have different feels, and some places, you know, you feel like so good to be there, and other places like you know, workspaces around negative people that are just really focused on what they don't want in life. All of that good stuff. So my suggestion is to really, when you're in situations like at work, around family, to stay as present as you possibly can, to try to see the good aspects in other people, because no matter what someone's going through or however they're behaving, there are good aspects to their personality, to their being. I mean, they are so much more than how they're behaving, and I think when you try to see the good in other people, they feel that. It's so difficult sometimes. I think a lot of us can feel triggered when we're around family as well, by old childhood stuff that, you know, we've spent so long trying to like grow and change, and then all of a sudden we're at the dinner table and we're, you know, 12 years old again and acting from that place. And so I think, you know, making sure that the relationships that you're putting energy into are nurturing to yourself. But it is hard. I know that I struggle with this as well, but yeah, you know, trying to find the good in other people, not trying to take things personally, and just using those affirmations and stuff before you go into an environment that you struggle with sometimes can help. Like going in, taking a few deep breaths and being like, I'm going to stay grounded and present here and take nothing personally, and, you know, only send love out from this infinite source that I have. I'm not going to be drained by other people. But yeah, if you have any suggestions about what helps you in these situations, I would love to hear them. So leave a comment below, please. I'll just do a couple more questions. I like this one. If there is one practice you could do every day to manifest your dreams, what would it be? And I thought about this for a little while because there's been so many helpful things that I have used in my life, and I came to the conclusion that I think the most important thing that I think we can each possibly do is to develop a deep loving relationship with ourselves. And you guys might know that as like self-love and all of that good stuff that we often try to not talk about. But I think when we are loving ourselves, it sets the tone for how much we love other people in our outside relationships. And basically, if we're loving ourselves, like the core of who we are, then we are attracting from a place of love. So we're attracting goodness. And when we are, you know, self-loathing, from that core place, we are attracting those sorts of feelings and emotions into our experiences. So I think a self-love practice is literally the most important thing that any of us can be doing. And I like to each day after meditation send myself just loving energy, just bathe myself in it, to say out loud like, I love you, Jinti. And that was uncomfortable at first, and you know, now it's getting more and more normal. And I think as my life changes and evolves, like having this practice and developing this practice of just deeply loving myself is really the biggest thing that I can do. And that's completely in alignment with the law of attraction. And when we love ourselves, we can act from that place of goodness and positivity. When we are self-loathing, it's much harder to do that. So that is sort of like my little law of attraction chat. It's such a big topic, and I know that I'm going to be like, oh, I should have talked about this and that, and you know, but I found it actually quite difficult to film this video. This is my like third attempt. So, you know, I'm just going to put it out there into the world. I hope that maybe you got just something from this, but let me know what you thought. And really, if you'd like to see more videos or hear any of my opinions about this, please let me know. Give this video a thumbs up. This is stuff I really think is just truly so important, and with this channel we're in a huge position that we can, you know, spread this message. And whilst, you know, I love our life, I love van life and sharing that with you, I love, you know, veganism and stuff like that, I love like eating healthy food and sharing that with you and our adventures. If I could get the message out there that basically I think that you are an incredibly powerful person and you have the ability to achieve the life that you truly desire, if that can be my message to you, then like that gave me goosebumps. That's, you know, that's how I want you to feel. So thank you so much for watching. I'm excited to read some of your comments about this topic. If you have anything you want to share, please feel free. And if you have anyone that you think would love to hear this video or needs to hear it, please share this video. I think it's such an important topic. I will see you in our next video, which I think is going to be our morning routine in the van. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that one. See you guys.